She greets me with a short wave, and then with a flourish of the hammer already in her hand, extends her arm towards the stalls behind her. Some of them already half completed, others still half-assed piles of board bundled together with a string. As time passes, I realize the pills can only do so much. I still get way more tired than should be normal. Luckily, Shizune's back is to me, so I can afford to take a lot of breaks without having to worry about her wondering why. When I stop and think about it, though, I start to feel pretty guilty for taking advantage of her inability to hear that my hammer stopped banging. It's a terrible thing to be happy about. You know, I really am wondering, because I'm not sure if I've seen this scene or not. I just remember... Well, I can't even really remember, honestly, so that's a contradiction. So how far I'd gone to the route. I remember maybe, like, when he first communicates with her through sign language. I think I got up to that point. That's the first I can remember into it. But I definitely haven't played through most of her routes. Her work ethic is admirable. It's obvious that it bores her and even annoys her, but she doesn't slacken her pace. When she gets tired nailing a stall together with one arm, she switches to the other. Shizune. I feel like an idiot to second-guess her name. I can't tell her what I think. There's a hammer in my hand as well, and in the end I feel like I have to keep up with her. I can't slack off either, especially when it's just the two of us. There's no time to sign, no opportunity. Looking for a compliment for a job well done. Even something as casual as that would require me to put my hammer down, get her attention, and then sign it to her. A simple gesture turned into something so needlessly complex, like a single footstep taken on a road that's longer than first imagined. I've known her long enough to know this, and still forgot it. The air is filled with the rhythmic knocking of nails being driven into wood. It's actually kind of nice after a while. To pass the monotony of the task at hand, I try to match my hammering to Shizune's, then alternate it to try and form a beat. Of course she didn't notice. Doesn't notice. It's like, yeah, let's like make a drum beat, except it's by nailing in hammers into wood. Bum 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 bum. Actually, it's like, you be the percussionists. Yeah, I like how this acoustic guitar sounds when I just do one note at a time, where it's like the way it rings out. But I'm not used to acoustic with the chords. Like on electric guitar, I can play power chords, no, full chords, bar chords, and all that very easily. But on acoustic, playing bar chords like this. I mean, it sounds alright like that, but when I pick each note individually while like that, see that? Really hard to get every note to sound right, and that bird! But anyways, let's actually get back to the plot. It makes me wonder, does the lack of sound make this work seem more drawn out and boring to her? Is it strange being unable to hear the results of her actions even as she feels the vibrations through her fingers? Or have no concept of sound, does it bother her at all? Distracted, I don't notice Shizune sneaking up on me until her head pops into view. It makes me wonder if there's like, it probably is like being research and stuff put into it, you know, like I'm trying to think here. Actually, I think I have read about like someone who was deaf and then actually regained. Well, I'm not sure if they were deaf their whole life or went deaf at some point or something, but essentially they were able to actually hear for the first time, and you got like cases like where people are able to see for the first time, stuff like that. The technology has advanced in ways where, you know, stuff like that can potentially be fixed, but I don't know where it is, you know, technologically wise, because there are still a lot of people in the world, you know, that are blind, deaf, and all that. So it's obviously not like a 100% thing. It's just like, okay, now everyone who's ever been deaf or blind or anything like that, fixed instantly. So I imagine it's still a work in progress on that, but it's just a thought. Taking a break? Yeah, I guess. Okay, let's do that. You can understand sign language. That makes it more convenient for both of us, even though you hid it from me. Why? Why what? And why am I suddenly giving you a voice? Well, that's because now they're actually talking. It's just in sign language. Why did you decide to take sign language? Her eyes didn't break off her mind even for a second. She needs to read my response. Her peripheral vision is good enough. Once she has something in her gaze, she doesn't look away. It's strange how piercing her eyes can be, dark as a lake at night. Because I wanted to, it seemed like it would come in handy, and it did, didn't it? Yes. Oh? Sorry, I didn't catch any of that. See, this kind of thing still comes up now and then. I wish Misha was here. What's that? Second? Ah, I didn't even realize my aunt was actually still here. Okay. She has work to make up for, doesn't she? That might be partly my fault. Misha does need supplemental lessons. Her grades aren't the best, but she understands how the decisions she makes affect others. That puts her ahead of many people. Especially certain blondes. Ah. She doesn't forget things easily. Her sign language is very good. You're learning oddly fast. I've been taking classes for a while now, and it's kind of easy to pick up after a while, though immersion or osmosis, that kind of thing, it's not too bad. I don't know, man. You know, a second. You know, sign language, right? Like, all words, like, to learn all that, but osmosis? It seems like a pretty odd word to suddenly just, after a few weeks or so of sign language, you suddenly know that word. I don't know, man. Actually, I don't think I even knew that word till just now. And if I'm really stuck, Misha's there too. I guess I spoke too soon. I didn't understand any of that. Time to backpedal. Well, yeah, it's actually not that easy. It's actually hard as hell, like trying to pick up broken glass. But I guess in some way it's interesting as well, like an adventure. Well, no. Picking up broken glass is not an adventure. Sure it is, it's just as challenging. If you use a dustpan and a broom, it's not. I feel frustrated and sad. When I look up, I notice she has a can of soda in her hand. When did you get that? I forget to sign it, but she understands anyway, following my eyes, and produces another one from behind her back. She tosses it in my direction, and I catch it with both hands. I brought an extra one for you. She pulls the slide of her fingernail onto the top of her can and pop it open before setting it aside for a moment. If you're going to try and help me so much, then I have to look out for you too. It's only natural. If you're going to learn sign language, that is something entirely different. I'm naturally going to be impressed. What separates the two is obligation. I'm very happy. She downs her drink in one go, stretches her arms behind her back, and jumps to her feet. Okay, back to work. And like that, it's over. Shizune returns to her work with the same energy as before, and lingering trace of a smile on her face, the only evidence that she had taken a break at all. And completely unrelated, but looking at this scenery, I just like Bob Ross, man. It's like all these happy little trees. Let's put a happy little rock here, and let's give this tree a friend who maybe lives right here or something. I've just been watching his videos past few days, weeks even. That's all I can think of when I see something like that. Just like, look at all the happy little trees. Just happy little place here. A happy little rock right here. It's just like I don't know. As I do the same, I think that Misha was right in saying everything would work out for the best. Everything so far seems to be going in that direction. Misha swings by as it starts to get darker, looking just as tired as I feel, and Shizune decides to stop for today. As we cover the day's work and go our separate ways, I look at how fluidly they talk to each other, and how easily they laugh together as they walk to their dorm. It makes me appreciate Misha's skill at sign language more. I wonder if I'll ever reach that level, or if I even will have the time to. Probably. Actually. It's... Well, obviously an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar are going to sound completely different. But it sounds nice on acoustic there. It sounds more natural for it. Or maybe it's because anytime I play my electric guitar in these videos, it's usually without the amp and all that, so it sounds quieter, doesn't it? The first thing I do this morning is trip once again over Kenji's package as I get out of bed. Find myself diving headfirst into the floor before I'm even fully awake. Seriously, when's he actually going to give the package? I want to smack this thing with the first blunt object I can find, like I'm going for a home run, but I don't even have the energy for that this early in the morning, and it would likely damage whatever is inside, and that would be mean. I slide it into the hallway. It sails along the smooth floor with little difficulty and stops with a soft and almost inaudible bump on colliding with Kenji's door. Immediately a dozen locks unbolt in succession like a mountain's symphony. Again, reminds me of freaking Ace Ventura. It's just like, imagine him kicking the freaking package all the way around. Who is it? He says as he blindly steps forward. Damn it, Bird, all those spells flying, some of those land on my keyboard. What was I saying? Forward into the hallway anyway, somehow stepping over the box in a way that would be uncharacteristically, impressively graceful if it weren't for the fact I know it was wholly accidental. Me, I got your mail, you're standing over it. I know, thanks a lot, man. Yeah, whatever. So, what's in it? He cringes, instantly turning very defensive and agitated. Snappy! Come on, tell me, I'm curious. And, you know, I almost broke my neck falling over it. And before that, I had to carry the stupidly large box around with it, blocking my vision, crossing roads with it in front of me. I think you can at least tell me what's inside in return. It's secret stuff. I can't tell you, because then it wouldn't be very secret and shit. It's nothing important. Well, if it's nothing important, you can tell me. If it's nothing important, why do you have to know? Why is that wrong? Why do you have to know? Why can't I know? Why do you answer my questions with questions? Why won't you answer my question? I won't answer my first question. Why won't you answer my last question? I realize our voices again higher. Okay, let's do that again then. Why can't I know? Why you answer my questions with questions? Why will you answer my first question? Why won't you answer my last question? No, it doesn't make sense. I realize the voice is getting higher with each reply. Down the hall, a door pops open and someone sticks his head out quizzically to see what's going on. You must look like such tools, but I bet I'm the only one out of the two of us with enough shame to realize it. Fine, you can take it to your grave. I have to get ready for school anyway. Damn, no, why are you so hasty to leave? Stick around, Lil. You want some coffee? It's been a while. You know, I thought you were dead since you were so slow with the package delivery. You're lucky I was willing to do package delivery in the first place, smart ass. Whoa, calm down, man. You are so Gone. I forget how to pronounce that word. Confrontational. Is it because of the student council thing? I hear you hang out with him now. I wonder if he's ever going to realize the writing on the box. Or maybe Hisao rubbed it off just like when we're pen and just like cross it out, I don't know. You heard it from me when I told you. Really? Yeah, well, whatever, man. The point is they're terrible. You're a new guy, so of course you wouldn't know this, but around here she's a very divisive figure. Before you came here, she tried to instigate a badge policy. It's a long story, so maybe you should sit down. I look around for a chair, but can't find one, as we are in a goddamn hallway. I raise a finger and start thinking that maybe I should tell him that. But he's already started talking, not one to waste the arm movement. I look at my watch instead. Would have been a real reign of terror if it happened. Wait, you're judging her based on something that didn't even happen? Yes, anyway, her idea was like merit badges, but there would also be demerit badges. What would those do? I don't know, it never happened. Something bad though, so when I heard about it, I didn't leave my room for a few weeks. So you heard there would be a massive change and hid in your room trying to just ride the change out. Nah, I decided to do something about it. I found a student council office after a while and marched right in with a list of demands and a bunch of people I grabbed in order to make myself look like I had supporters. Wait, so not only did it not happen, but no one even cared. Kenji doesn't hear me, haven't gotten the good momentum going. Wrapped up in the energy of his own ranting, he starts to completely flip out and flail his arms, appearing to wildly throw gang signs. What? I walked up to the desk and said to her, "Hey, you fascist woman! What is this badge idea? How out of touch can you be? Here is your ivory tower, smugly looking down upon us like we're just a bunch of idiots. Who do you think you are? Your level of elitism is terrible. You're probably one of those outrageous rich people who have chauffeurs drive them around slums so they can point and laugh. And only drink pricey coffee being shut out by the last living dinosaur and brewed in a solid gold skull. And how could you go up now a history book? Don't you know that the boys are always overthrown in the bloody revolution for shit like this? Stupid! You're an idiot! Sure, the revolutionists usually end up turning everything into an utter clusterfuck later on, but a maniac is the only kind of person who can create a policy like this. It's like something I would create to make people suffer, only real, and you want to institutionalize it. Where will this the discretion of our rights end? We are people. This is not justice. We are people. That's what I said. Then I added a cry of, then Canada. I should read the lines before actually saying them because I stumble in. They can take off things, but they'll never take off freedom! To appeal to the masses like in that movie about the life of William Wallace where they took his things but not his freedom and then it killed him. But she just ignored me and didn't even look up from writing up her little paper shit. Maybe I overwhelmed her with my logic so badly that she just radiated in denial. Maybe she's just an asshole. However, she didn't reply and the future refused to change. Well, she is deaf, so that's probably why she didn't understand what he was saying. Just probably thinking, why are you making those faces? Stop it off. On the way back, I realized I'd lost my student ID somewhere. This is the story of my life. A constant, seemingly futile struggle, like trying to climb up a brick wall with sponges for hands. Hey, you said nothing changed, but you didn't make everyone wear a bunch of stupid badges, so it did change. Yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe they're not so bad then. I guess that counts for something, if I can get Kenji to admit that maybe 2 women may not be so bad after all. I'll take it, especially if it allows me to slip out of his conversation. I didn't realize how much time had gone by. I try to run through my usual morning routine as quickly as possible. I check my watch again as I leave the dorms and see that I'm already late. Fortunately, the rest of the day goes more smoothly, and after class is over, I head to meet with Shizune again. Behind the school, I catch her leaning against a completed stand with parts of it still flecked with bits of paper and ink. Remnants of signs from the last time it was used. Absentmindedly spinning a nail in her hand, she hasn't noticed it yet. The temptation to sneak up on her is unbearable. Years of watching foreign wildlife documentaries have prepared me for this. I'm downwind, conditions are favourable. However, the more I think about it, the more it seems like a bad idea. I just picking up that South Park episode where the parody of Sibo is like, I'm gonna stick my thumb up his bumhole now! That wouldn't go down well, would it? If get caught halfway, I'll look like an idiot, and if she doesn't know it's me, I could end up with an injury. Away, I'll also look like a little insensitive, so it would probably be best not to try anything funny. as disappointing as it is. You can't stick your thumb up her butthole because that would not go down well. She would likely hammer... Well, yeah, she probably would. She'll just take your freaking thumb, put it down, put a nail above it and hammer it in, and then you'd be like, my gosh, she's a sadist! So sadistic! I walk in front of her and start letting her lick. Why surprise? So surprised. Did I catch you slacking off? No, I was taking a break. You don't look like you even broke a sweat. That's some break there, President. Shizune's eyes dart back and forth momentarily, and I think I've managed to fluster her. There's expression on her face and a little tension as well, but she can't back down. That would be unthinkable for her. Her fingers dance across each other impatiently. You're acting competitive today. Are you trying to get my blood boiling? Do you want to make it a contest? We'll race to see who can construct the most stalls by sundown. No, I'm teasing you. That's okay. It's not a real student council if you can't tease the student council president, Lil. You agree, don't you? That isn't in the student council charter, so it isn't true. There is no charter. At least I don't think there is. The only thing they pledge loyalty to are a stack of takeout menus. Anyway, it's good that you're finally here, even if you could have been earlier. Pick up a hammer and we'll resume where we left off. As we work assembling stalls again, I slowly realize that it's really much less work than I would have expected. In fact, according to Shizune, we should be done by the end of the day with little luck. Last time I did something like this for them, it took her, Misha, and myself almost 4 days to do it. It can't be just my imagination. No, this doesn't seem like that much work. Because it isn't. That answer leaves me wanting a little more, knowing that it isn't the best. Shizune puts down her hammer to elaborate. It would be impossible for 2 people to do that much work in less than a week. Truth is that I don't dismantle half the stalls. I just store them someplace else. Actually, more like I hide them in plain sight. She waggles her finger mischievously. But that's a secret, and it's not proper to reveal the tricks of the trade. You're not a magician. Thinking, she takes out 2 plastic containers from her bag, then puts them down on a nearby board before raising her hands slightly, as if to say, "Ta-da! I made lunch today for both of us. You can have this one. The food shifted in my bag, and now some of it's mixed together." She hands me one of the containers. I open it. It looks delicious. It's a little simple. She hands me a pair of chopsticks as if she had just remembered to. I eat with what looks like some grilled beef. It's very tasty. You don't like your food touching other food? I do not. You're very picky. Sometimes I mix my food on my own, but not always. Not everything. I don't like it when it's done for me. What is important is the choice. She points decisively to emphasize it, then breaks the chopsticks apart to eat her own meal. As I continue to eat, I notice 2 things. First is that almost everything I'm eating besides the rice is fried, even the vegetables are fried. And there's so much meat. Does she eat this kind of stuff all the time? I wonder how she managed to stay so thin in spite of it. Second thing I notice is that I can't talk to her while eating. Talking with your mouth full is a little rude anyway, but with our hands holding our chopsticks and bowls, communication between us is impossible, just like yesterday. Even though we're spending time together, even though I took the time to learn sign language, it feels like I'm talking to her less. Despite that, it also feels like I'm understanding her more. Oh shit! I hear the sound of something tapping against one of the stands and look up to see Lilly standing off to my side, feeling her way around with her cane. Hi. I narrowly catch myself before I can say, didn't see you there. Oh, Hisao, is that you? I thought that I smelled something delicious cooking and wondered who it might be. What did she say? It's hard to move my hands in parallel to saying something completely different to Lilly. This has to be why Misha just signs everything all the time. A bit sillier, but it seems like it would simplify things a lot. Shizune tenses her fingers delightfully at my translation, as if from hearing a joke. All this food was cooked hours ago, but for someone as slow as yourself, who can't even turn in a piece of paper, being a week late, I guess your perception of time would have to be a little different. And I just realized, I think I've given them the same freaking voice. But I've said many times, with doing female voices, they tend to sound the same anyway. But Misha's voice is very distinct. But I've said that in other outfits as well. There's always at least one female character that gets a more distinct voice than all the other ones from me, you know? That's not very nice. A frown crosses Lily's face in response to her reply to something she didn't hear. So, how is this? How gonna go about this? Because I'm pretty sure Lily probably doesn't know sign language now. Sorry, I'm just having a late lunch here. The student council president cooked everything. Is the student council president here right now? She's right here. I apologize, I didn't notice. Normally her level of presence is much higher. I was not aware that the student council serves lunch outdoors. Why wasn't I invited? I think that it is good to have enough free time to be able to do things like this, however. What is she saying? If I were to invite you anyway, you would just show up late. But Shizune's words are outside of Lily's perception, a fact that is by the second increasingly maddening to her. Translate for me completely, please. You know, I just realized all this time where it's just like, you know, Misha can't really convey Shizune's emotions quite the way that Shizune would intend because of her cheerful voice. But now I can actually do that for her, because now I'm voice acting with her. Because now we have to read, you know, the translation or the sign language. What polite phrasing. It's a shame she's essentially asked me to let her fully release the dogs of war. Still, I can't just do nothing. The feeling of being unable to even respond and be understood is so isolating. She would never forgive me. I'll just try to soften her words a little. Well, actually, this was all cooked a while ago. Really? That's nice. Turn over here. It's very disrespectful to not look at the person you're speaking to. That isn't the way a prim and proper lady should conduct herself. For what I'm saying is really what Shizune is saying. She doesn't like it when people don't look in her direction when she's trying to make a point. She's, to the right of my voice. She's blind, Shizune, for fuck's sake. Although in this case I can understand why Lily wouldn't. This is a very awkward situation, and it's daunting because the sole conduit for dialogue between the two of them. Truthfully, I'd forgotten what happened the last time they butted heads like this. It's clear Shizune remembers, and Lily is being pretty hostile herself in her own way. I'm sorry, such formalities slipped my mind completely. I forgot that the student council president is the type of person who would demand such respect and adherence to the rules at all times. I suppose student government requires you to keep a tight ship. Then again, she certainly has time for her own fun as well, so that must not be completely true. Student council's not a dictatorship. Nor a zero-sum game. Shizune points at Lily with her finger out like the barrel of a gun and snaps her fingers explosively, causing her to flinch and become visibly upset. Is that so? Then it makes it more impressive that you have been a part of it for so long, playing it as though it were one. I admire the fact that you are so tenacious. To manage it all, you must be so responsible as well. Not as much as I would like to be. You can't complain about yourself, though, can you? You're very irresponsible. Actions like requesting a deadline to be extended and then running all the way through to the next deadline, that's the very model of responsibility. Shizune is happy to hear that, but apparently you're pretty responsible yourself, she says. Yeah, he's really lessening the blow, isn't he? Does she really? More or less. Lily doesn't seem very happy. We're not holding a cookout, we're just taking a little lunch break. We're actually out here building stores for the festival. You wouldn't know since you never go outside. Did you run out of tea? Man, she is freaking... Are you going into town? Shopping? Well, Hisao's certainly not going to translate her harsh words, is he? No, as I said before, I was just passing by. In case you did not hear, I would hate to interrupt the student council president. You're not doing anything now, but you must both be very busy. In any case, Hisao, I'm sure that the student council president will be able to find or make work for the both of you if she needs to. I'll devour you! I don't think I've seen that face before. I'm pretty sure, like, by this point, or maybe still a little ways, I don't even know, man. This seems more and more like scenes that I probably haven't seen before. Because I don't think I've played this far into a round. Yeah, very busy. Devour is a hard word. I'm pleased that I can read it. What? Devour? He's like, oh, that's a hard word to read, but osmosis? Oh, that's easy! What the hell, man? That seems like a much more uncommon word to use, you know, than freaking devour. I'm pleased that I can read it. This isn't time to celebrate, though. What? Accelerate. Fort? What? I think that's a typo. Not over that. Instead, it looks like they might stop squabbling. I would drink to that. Have a nice day, Hisao. Goodbye, Student Council President. Thanks, you too. Stay classy. As soon as Lilly leaves, she dives into the remains of her lunch as quickly as possible, as if each bite she shovels away is a means to forgetting any of this ever happened. When she's done, she heads right back to hammering with the same mindset. It's good that she's working off her frustration, but now it doesn't look like she is in any mood to talk anymore. About 2 hours later, she stops, having mowed through the rest of the stalls non-stop in that time. It still feels hard to approach her, and I think about how easily a conversation can die. After it took so long to be able to get her alone and speak to her directly, it almost hurts. The translation was good. Really? First class. She punctuates it with a thumbs up. For your level. There aren't many deaf people in school, and sign language classes have been on the edge of getting cut for a while now. I'm sure you don't have many classmates, am I right? If you're only learning sign language now, your speed is going to be limited. That is why interest in it wanes, because it takes more effort than normal just to communicate. Imagine it's the same with all languages. In such a situation, conversation is sign language or less than they would inherently be to start with. I don't understand that last word. That's what? Spontaneous. Which is the only person who can really capture it. Yeah, that's definitely true. Her expression changed for a second and changes back too quickly to digest, but I get the feeling that this isn't meant to be pursued. What I really want to know about is, why do you and Lilly fight so much? Ooh, that's a good question. Bravo time. I'm curious. I'm too curious to put a cliffhanger, so let's find out now. Tensing a little and visibly frowning, Shizune tightens her fingers and overlays them quickly as if shuffling an invisible deck of cards. Two fights that you know of aren't worth calling so much. If you had been there last year, you could say that. I heard it was a rough year. Something about how you tried to institute a badge policy. What? Surprise? Well, I want to hear more about that later, definitely, but you don't like Lilly very much, do you? Don't dodge my question. I'm not dodging anything. She was part of the student council until last year. We didn't get along very well. She wanted to keep doing things like the old student council did. The old student council was just so ineffectual, it was stupid and insulting. I wanted to do more, and we had a fight. A lot of fights. She couldn't do anything on time. Then she said that what I wanted to do was meaningless, just extra busy work. Does this look like meaningless busy work to you? Shizune gestures around us. What's really meaningless is a student council that doesn't do anything. Weak, lazy, and boring. Especially boring. I couldn't get excited over sitting in a room with nothing to do. That's just a waste of time. Why would I even be there? It didn't get my blood flowing. Arguing with her does that. If you could have been that, if she could have been that motivated before, she wouldn't have to put so much effort, so much dedication into being my enemy. But if she shows that much spirit, it's not a complete loss. At least it's something. It's still exciting. I see. And what about the badge thing? She laughs, covering her mouth with her hand as if to hide it. Her laughter is the only thing she regularly tries to hide. That was just a joke. Having a little fun sometimes is important too. For the next day, I end up having to hunt around a bit. At the start of lunch, when I find that my usual vending machine near the dormitory building is sold out of my usual favourite canned coffee. The detour takes longer than I expected. Things have been so hectic lately that it takes some time for me to register why something smells different as I walk through the school gardens back to the cafeteria. The grass has been freshly mowed, and well, he doesn't have hay fever, so he wouldn't understand. Wait, is it summer or spring or autumn or what? What time of year is the plot? I forget. But man, like freaking around this time of year, cut grass. It's just like, the eyes, the nose, the sneezing, it's horrible. Realization makes me pause and watch for a bit. The odd groups of students chatting or playing around on the grass and a couple of teachers conversing on the path ahead make for a very idyllic scene. Unfortunately, a feeling of imminent dread starts creeping up on me after a while. The feeling that I'm not alone. Hey, Hisao, is that you? Yeah, these scenes, I have no idea. We've clearly reached the point where everything that happens now is completely new to me. Yeah, it's me. I guess I should be happy it's him and not, say, a slasher. Kenji begins talking as if he's having a conversation with someone older than me. Knew it, that haircut is unmistakable. No normal person would have a haircut like that. Unconsciously, I start touching the back of my head. Once I realize what I'm doing, I feel insulted, yet too surprised to even get indignant about it. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah. Okay, as curious I am to know what the hell this scene's gonna lead to. It might even lead to the CG that I've seen of him, but I'm not sure if it's actually in this route here, or actually I think it might be actually. So that's something I'm curious to see, but I guess I'll wait till next time for that. So I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.